Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason.
It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart
Was 2 sizes too small.
Why the more the Grinch thought of the whole Christmas thing, the more Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. For 50 years I put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming, but how?
Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat. And he made a quick Santa Claus hat and coat, and chuckled and cluckled. What a great Grinch trick!
With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick.
Then the Grinch would giddy up and sleigh started down towards the homes where the Who lives a snows on their town. All the windows were dark, quite snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square.
This is stop number 1, the old Grinch Claus hissed. Then he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grins, are the first thing to go.
Then he slithered and slunk, with a smile most unpleasant, around the whole room, and he took every present. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimney.
Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. Their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire, and one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for the mouse.
Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses.
1,000 feet up, the sat among crumpet. He rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-hoo to the Who's, he was grinchiously humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up, I know what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will cry, boo-hoo.
That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. The sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry. Very.
Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came somehow or another. It was just the same.
At the Grinch stood, his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so?
It came without ribbons.
It came without tags.
It came without packages.
Without boxes
or bags.
And he puzzled 3 hours till the puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little more.
And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light.
And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast.